Hello, my friends. My name is Dadcraft73, and welcome back to another episode of One Man, One Mod, where we're trying to learn everything that we can about Botania. Now, let me tell you something really quick. This is going to be the season finale episode. Man, I love my little ring thing. It's so cool. My flugel tiara. It's amazing. Now, I just want to remind folks, in case you may have forgotten, and I don't think you have, but just in case you have, the purpose of this series is not to do like a spotlight and go through every single tiny thing that there is about Botania. The purpose of these series, not just this one, but the previous 6, have been to get people comfortable with using some of these mods that we may see in mod packs, and we're always like, man, I'm not doing that. That's crazy. And I think that we've accomplished that so far in this season. We've learned how to do some cool stuff. We fought the Gaia Guardian. We've learned different ways to generate mana. We've done some automation. We've built some awesome functional flowers. We've used redstone timers and mystical flower production deals, and we've even messed around a little bit with Pam's. You know, Pam's was more of just like an add-on into this series than anything else. It wasn't really supposed to be some, you know, crazy thing where we dove too deep into that mod. But we have certainly covered a wide range of Botania topics in this month of September, and I think we're getting close to being done. But there's one thing that I think that I want to at least play with a little bit today. Now, I have an idea. I want to just make sure that and I'll put a link to the video in the description box down below. There's a guy out there. His name is the Kraken? Anyway, I'm using his setup for what we're going to build today, so I'll put a link in the description box down below. If you want to go check out that guy's video, you certainly can. It's got a lot of details in it. But before we get too far along the way here, let's get a couple little odds and ends that we need to put together. My phone. Okay, that's good. No, phone is good. So I need to get some I need some flower petals. So I need some purple. Well, I guess you could already see it in my search bar there. We're going to make the Dandelifeon today, and we could do that because we've killed the guy. We could have done it before we killed phase 2, but we're going to use one of our Gaia spirits that we have to be able to make this thing. So we need 2 purple, a lime, and a green. Let's just go over here. And we need 1 purple flower, which is there. Okay, we need 1 lime flower, and we need 1 green flower. Okay, yeah. All right, let's go over here to our petal apothecary, and let's get this thing made sooner than later. Man, my poor inventory. It is always... Oh, I don't know why I just went over there when I have an infinite water source. Oh, well. All right, so 2 purple, we need a green, and we need a lime. Let's go ahead and throw these guys in here, 1, 2, and then 1 of these, 1 of these, and we'll get rid of those off our deal. And then we need a seed. We're also going to need one of our Gaia spirits, which are somewhere right here. Let's put one of these guys in here, like so. This goes in, Gaia spirit does. And then we made a bunch of runes. So we have a rune of earth, that was a rune of fire, rune of earth, rune of air, and rune of water, I think, are the ones. Yep. And then we throw in a seed, and bang, we get ourselves the Dandelifeon. Oh, man. And I have a little area set up over here, all ready to go. And we're going to put this guy down right there. So the Dandelifeon is it's a pretty fancy little block, that's for sure. A little flower. It's a mana producing flower, but it's based on this thing called the Game of Life. And the Game of Life was this thing that was created by this guy named Conway, and it's been around forever. I'm trying to find some half-decent building blocks that I can use. Well, you know what we're going to use? Let's just use spruce wood. We could probably make it fancier if we wanted to, but this will be okay, I think. We need a little over a stack or so. Let's do that. Okay. All right, so now what the Game of Life is. Now, you can read all about it in the Lexica Botania if you want to. You can see that I've been doing some work to get prepared for this episode. The Game of Life, let's see. So the Dandelifeon. It's a flower. It's a flower not recommended for those with faint of heart. Yeah, true. While it's possibly the strongest available generating flower within the botanist tool belt, it's also one of the less straightforward to put to work. This flower makes use of a cellular automaton known as Conway's Game of Life. The area for this procedure is a 25 by 25 square centered around the Dandelifeon itself. So what I've got, so we're not going to use the full 25 by 25 area. What we're going to do is we're going to use a 9 by 9 area. Give me that. So 1, 2. I need to find a piece of dirt. Yeah, there we go. Put that in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's technically going to be 19 by 19 is what it's going to be. So we're going to go. Let me just make sure I put in my blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we want to go over this way, like so, and this way. Whoops. Break this guy and go like that. Yeah. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then right here at this edge. Now you can certainly use the full 25 block radius if you want to. Or it's 25 blocks square. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right there. You guys get out of there. It's funny because back when I was younger, and I'm going to say probably late 80s time frame, somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe it was early 90s. I can't really remember exactly when. But me and a buddy of mine actually wrote a version of the Game of Life in Visual Basic, believe it or not. We were going to try to make it a 3D version where it could actually go in like all 3 planes. And yeah. We were using Visual Basic, I think Visual Basic 3 back then. And that was before all the cool stuff. And that was the only programming language that I had any clue about because I had taken some Basic in high school. Believe it or not. Oh, my goodness. Maybe it was like early 90s. Maybe like 92, 93, somewhere in that neighborhood. But anyway, and we got it working. It just ran really slow because computers back then were, you know, your cell phone is like 50 times more powerful than my computer was back in the day. Okay, so that's the setup that we're going to use. So we got to make some more stuff, though. We got to get over here and land before our tiara runs out. So the next thing I want to make is a Gaia mana spreader. So we need an Elven mana spreader, and I think we made some of this Elven wood, if I remember correctly. I think we did. It's around here somewhere. Yeah, right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of that, and then we just need an Elementium ingot. Oh, no. Oh, yes. Okay, good. We're literally using the last of our resources. We just need 2 of those. We can fly up here real quick. Man, flight makes things so much better. Okay, Elementium ingot. And then just a petal. So it's made just like a regular mana spreader, I think. Yeah. Yeah, just a petal. Okay. So let's make this guy first. We'll make the Elven mana spreader first. And then instead of using a piece of gold, we use a piece of Elementium, and then we get this guy. And then we need a spirit ingot, and we need a diamond. We need a mana diamond, so let's get one of these and one of these. Okay. This guy we throw into this pool. Okay. And then we take that mana diamond that we have now, and we throw that in there. Okay, perfect. Okay, now we can come back down here. Man, we were zipping around like crazy people, that's for sure. So this goes here, and this guy goes there, and bang, we get the Gaia mana spreader. Okay, we're also going to need a mana pool, which we have some kicking around here somewhere. Mana pool right there. We need one of these. Remember back in the day we made like a whole bunch of those. We're also going to need this. Oh my god, I didn't use all that iron. Good grief. We need a piece of redstone. We need some planks, one like that, and we're gonna need a little bit of cobblestone if we've got some. Perfect. Here, okay, and then we're gonna need to make a sticky piston. Sticky piston. Make one of these first, bang, And then we can make a sticky piston like so. Yep. Okay. And then we do need a little bit of redstone. Let's see. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces of redstone. And we're also going to need a lever, which we can make in just a second. All right, let's make our block of redstone. And let's go over here and see if we can't set up the rest of this little deal here. So we're going to go on top of this thing, and we're going to put down a couple blocks. I think that's how many we need. One. Is that right? No, we actually need one more up here, I believe. Okay. And then we're going to take our sticky piston, and we're going to put it here facing down. And we're going to take our redstone block, and we're going to put it right there. Okay? So it's one block above the Dandelifeon, right? And then we're going to take a stick and a piece of cobble, and we're going to make ourselves a lever, and we're going to put that lever up here. So flipping this lever makes that move up or down, okay? Now, here's how the game of life actually works. So the official game of life. Now, Botania's got a little bit of changes. So it's got rules associated with it in the game of life. And essentially, we can read what they are, but let me see if I can find it. It says cells may be live or dead. Live if the block in that position is a cellular block, read on, or dead if it's anything else. Neighbors are the 8 blocks in the same plane around any one cell. So the neighbors of this block, right, are these two plus these empty cells. Okay, so it's like a chess pattern around a block. Okay. Every step of the game, the following transitions might happen. Any live cell with fewer than 2 or more than 3 live neighbors dies. Any live cell with exactly 2 or 3 live neighbors lives on. Any dead cell with exactly 3 live neighbors becomes a live cell. So those are the rules. All the transitions happen at the same time. Let's go sleep through the night real quick so we can keep talking about this. So in Conway's game of life, it's essentially I guess it's almost like a model where each update is a generation. So, for instance, if we started the game of life with these couple blocks right here, right, the rules would apply, and it would say, hey, this guy's got 3 neighbors, so he stays alive. This guy has got 2 neighbors, so he stays alive, right? This guy right here has 2 neighbors, so he stays alive. And this empty block has 2 neighbors, so he becomes alive, right? So those are how the rules apply. And then things will change. Like, so the next iteration, maybe this block in here gets there. Well, now this block, because he has 4 neighbors, will die. So each, like, update of the game, each life cycle, those rules that we just talked about get applied. Yeah? Okay, so that makes sense, right? Okay, so now the next thing we want to do is we're just going to take this, because we're just really testing this more than anything else. We want to show how the setup works. We're going to put this mana pool right here, okay? And then I guess we're going to go 1. That's probably good. And we can take our newly made Gaia mana spreader and put him right there. We'll get rid of these blocks. Okay. All right. And then, let's see, what do we want to do here? We want to make sure that everything is bound correctly. So let's get our wand of the forest. We need to bind our Dandelifeon to the mana spreader. And we're going to bind the Gaia spreader to the mana pool. Okay? So now everybody's connected, everybody's happy. So now any mana that this plant produces will automatically get sent into this mana pool so we can collect it. Okay? Now, don't expect that we're going to be producing, like, ridiculous amounts of mana. It's just not going to happen. Because mana is a thing that, you know, you have to work towards. You just can't click a button and have, like, stacks on stacks of or pools on pools of mana. That's for sure. Okay, so this is the basic setup. So we have the Dandelifeon. We have an ability to give it redstone. By the way, when you give this thing a redstone signal, that starts it doing its life cycle stuff where it does the updates. Yeah? Okay. All right, so, and this could be obviously pretty or prettier for sure. All right, now let's go over here to the desert. And let's get, I don't know, it doesn't really matter what we get, but we just need a bunch of cactuses. I was thinking, do I need to build a cactus farm? And I'm like, nope, we're right by the desert. We'll just take care of the cactus problem is running around out here in the desert and get that squared away. Oh, that's 19. I want more than that. I'd like to get, like, I don't know, like half a stack maybe, or even more than that. Let's just grab up a bunch of these guys. There's 28. There's 31. There's our crazy Enderman killing pillar. There's 40. We might need a couple more than that. I don't really know how many we need. Each craft that we're going to do here in a minute takes 3 cactuses, and I want 16 blocks, but I'd like to have more than that if possible. Okay, let's get... We might as well let's just grab a stack of these cactuses since we're out here messing around. Actually, let's grab 63. Not a stack, because I need something divided by 3 anyway. Okay, and then I just need 2 more. Like this guy over here. Perfect. Okay, 63 cactuses. Okay, so let's head back over here. Now, the other thing that I did while I was sort of working on some of this stuff and, you know, watching YouTube videos and stuff, is I made myself a little 3-crop farm up here. Vanilla crops. So we've got potatoes. Let's grab a bunch of those. Let's just actually harvest all of these crops so we can do the stuff that we need to do. I may have been AFK for a while just to let all these grow. Okay, you, sir, go away, and you go away, and you go away. I don't need you. I don't need you or you. Okay. So we've got potatoes, carrots, and beetroots is what we've got a farm going on here for. Obviously, we're going to need these in just a second, and I'll show you why. That's a bad potato. Okay. All right, so let's go now over to our crafting grid. Now, in the game of life, there's blocks that are used. So or I guess normally they're just like cells, like on a grid, that if you were playing the game of life normally. But in Botania, we need to make these guys, right? Cellular blocks, and we have 63 of them, which is 1 less than we need, but that's okay. I mean, we actually don't need any more than this. All right, so you could do a bunch of things. I have to get myself all ready here. So let's go. Now, once I place these down, they're sort of done, and it's not going to work anymore. So let's put these guys down like that. Like, once you place them, you can't take them back, right? You can't get them back. Now, how this flower generates mana, as the game of life progresses and does stuff, and its cells turn on or off, and they cycle through their process or whatever that needs to end up happening. If a cell gets to this area right here, so the white square of wool that I've got set up here on the screen, if the cell, any one of these cells, as it like propagates and mutates and goes through its life cycle and all those different things, if one cell gets to this point, any one of these white squares, all the cells get removed. And based on how old they are, they will produce mana. So the older they are, the better. The more mana you get. I've just made this blue ring here just to give me an idea of how close we're getting. Right? So if we get here, we're okay. We get here, the entire game is over and we have to reset. Now, let me show you how this thing works. Now, this isn't going to generate any mana because it's not going to move. Right? So you can see this thing is flipping around based on the rules around Conway's game of life. Things are either living or dying based on what's happening. Now, if we go and we put another block here, you can see that it starts going all crazy. And as soon as it impacts, so a block would spawn inside there, it will automatically die, and we produce a little bit of mana. And it's not very much, it's just a drop, just a little bit. So obviously we need to set up a way that we can produce as much mana as we possibly can without, so it mutates as much as it possibly can before we get into that center block, that center 3x3 area, right? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So we've turned it off. You have to make sure you turn it off before you start placing more blocks. And we're going to put one of these here, and then we're going to go like this. This is the setup that we're going to use. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to place one here, and then 1, 2, 3. And we're going to go, I guess it doesn't really matter, here, and then 1, 2, 3. And then over here, we'll do it this way. 1, and then 1, 2, 3. So we have this setup where we've got these blocks in that arrangement in the corners of our slightly truncated area. So if we look over here, right, it's hard to see, but it extends out 2 blocks further than what our little area is here. So now the idea is we turn this thing on and we hope that this thing mutates. The reason we have these blocks here is I don't want it to go that way. I only want it to go towards the center, because we're trying to get as many iterations as possible before one of these blocks gets produced and goes inside this white square. Okay, so let's turn it on and watch. So you can see it only can go one way. You can see it's getting bigger, bigger, bigger. That looks so... Oh, I just ran out of juice. I'll have to get myself charged back up. Oh, good grief. Okay, so it just died, right? That actually ran for a good while. Lots of iterations. And you can see we are pumping mana. This is empty now. This guy is losing its mana. Guy, a mana spreader, almost out. Okay, let's see how much mana that produced us. So not very much, but some. We got some mana out of that deal. Okay, so let's run it again. Actually, I need to wait until my tiara gets all juiced up here. Let's eat something. It takes a little bit of a while for that thing to get, because I want to be able to fly above the deal the entire time. Now, there are certainly ways that you could set it up and even do more complex things if you want to, right? So you can do, there's probably tutorials out there on the web on different ways to set this up. But the goal is you want this thing to cycle as many times as you possibly can before it reaches, a block reaches this white thing in the middle. Maybe that's going to be enough. If not, we're going to be able to do this again. Let's actually run over to our bed. We'll sleep through the night, and then we'll come back and we'll fire this whole thing up one more time, and we'll see how much mana we can produce. Now, if you want to, you can certainly automate the dropping of these blocks. Like you could use, I don't know, maybe dispensers and redstone. You may be able to use the ranucarpus that we've made to do our saplings deal over there if you wanted to. Alright, so let's make sure we turn this thing off. If you don't turn it off and you try to place a block down, watch what happens. So it's just going to die. So if I place one block, right, once it updates, it dies. No mana. So we want to make sure we turn it off, and then we want to put in this same little design. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Whoops. See, once you place them, they're done. So you have to be a little careful you don't waste these guys. And then 1, 2, 3. Okay. Alright, so here we go. Let's land on the ground. Make sure we're fully charged up. Let's flip the lever. Okay, and then we'll watch. Okay. So we can see it processing. Things are living and dying, but it's making larger and larger amounts of blocks. Goes into this really cool design. Yeah. And then soon, very soon, like right this second, it's going to get into the center and end. And then as soon as that happens, we produce mana. See how that works? Yeah. So, I mean, automation would probably be the key here if we wanted to make this thing. Let's do it again. Let's make it run one more time, just because I think it's really cool. And that'll probably be the end of our blocks. We'll have to make some more, maybe. We've wasted a couple. Okay, and then that, and that. Okay. All right, let's make sure that this guy is out of mana. He is. This guy's out of mana. Okay, let's turn it on again. We can watch it go. There's all these things you can do with the Game of Life. You can make, there's all these like different like contraptions people have figured out after years and years of testing it. There's things like I don't know, there's things that move, spaceships, all these different things. Uh-oh. So we had a little bit of an issue over there. Maybe I didn't set that up quite right. Okay, so it just disappeared. And then we should be producing mana. Okay, how much mana do we get after those 2 times? So not a lot, right? Not like an incredible amount. But if you think about the time it took to generate that much mana, right? I mean, that's not like a ridiculous amount of mana, that's for sure. You know, we could do... I'm going to do this. Let's do it one more time. And let's make ourselves... Let's see if we have some living rock laying around. Let's empty some of this junk that we have. Potatoes, that. It can go away. Okay. Alright, so do we have some living rock? We do. 1, 2, 3 is what we need. So let's make a diluted mana pool. And this is what this that Kraken guy did. He made a diluted mana pool just to show how much... Because those big mana pools, man, they're monsters. I mean, there's no question about it. They hold an incredible amount. So this is a diluted mana pool, which remember we use for like our tree farm and stuff like that. And we're going to bind this guy over there. Okay? Alright, so now we're going to have to go make a couple more. We need some more cactuses is what we need. Just a couple. So we're going to need... I don't know how many. That should be enough to get us 16 blocks. That's how many we need. Okay, and then we need this, this, and this. Okay. Alright, and these things are called Cellular Blocks. Okay, 21. Perfect. Alright, let's do this one more time and just get an idea in that diluted mana pool how much we end up making. So let's turn this guy off. We don't want him to be running. Alright, and then we want to go here and then 1, 2, 3. We want to go here and 1, 2, 3. We want to go here and 1, 2, 3. And then we can go here and 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. Alright, so let's turn this thing on. So our mana pool over there is empty. Let's turn it on. Let's watch it do its mutation thing. It's making its cool pattern. More and more blocks are being mutated. And then it's going to die now. Okay, there we go. And now we're dumping mana into that mana pool. Let's turn this guy off. Let's see if I can remember how to make this other thing. I don't know. I know there's this thing that's like... we'll use these last couple blocks, like 1, 2, 3, like that. That's another design you can make. Look, so check it out. So that one cycle through filled up this diluted mana pool almost all the way full. So, I mean, that's a fair amount of mana. I mean, that's enough to do all kinds of stuff. You could make tons of trees with that, and it's not that expensive. You just need to have the Gaia Guardian taken care of. Let's rebind this guy. Well, actually, let's just let it run. We know how much is in here. Okay. Let's go and flip this guy. And watch this guy go. And he goes through quite a few cycles, and then he dies, right? So not very many. So that was just another little design you can do. It's called something. I don't know what it's called. It's called something cool. Then we can go like that. All right, so now this guy should be pretty much empty. And now that guy's full. So that little bit there gave us a little bit more mana. So that's certainly a way that we can produce mass amounts of mana. It's a little weird, and automation of that would be definitely the way to go. If you could find a way to automatically produce those blocks. I mean, this is cheap. Cactuses are cheap. You could have a massive cactus farm, and you could have a massive farm and produce tons and tons of those cellular blocks, and then just let it run. On like some kind of timer. Say, oh, every 20 seconds we'll drop some more blocks in there and let them cycle through. I love that. Let's go over here and we'll end the episode right here. I want to thank you all so much for taking this ride with me in the month of September as we learned not everything possible about Botania, but we certainly learned lots and lots of stuff. We learned how to do automation, how to produce mana, how to make amazing tools and armor, how to kill the Gaia Guardian in a cheap and hacky kind of way. We learned how to open the portal to Alfheim. We made flowers that both did cool stuff and also did harm to mobs. We made mana spreaders and mana pools and wands of the forest and hopper hawks and ranucarpuses and Dandelifeons, all kinds of stuff. I appreciate you guys watching. I really appreciate the support. Now, look for a video coming out tomorrow. Today is what? Today's Wednesday? Yeah. So coming out tomorrow with a channel update about what's going to happen in October. We're making a little bit of change to the schedule due to some real life stuff that I've got going on. I'm sure you guys know how that works, but you know, it'll still be all right. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time, please remember to be cool. Don't be a fool. And from my one man, one mod series, where we did our best to learn as much as we could about Botania, I guess we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.